Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today we're talking CrowdStrike Holdings, ticker symbol CRWD. As a disclaimer, this is not investment advice. This is just a research video that I put together meant to be educational as well as entertaining. I'm going to put you into a few different news clippings and articles surrounding the company as of recently. We're going to take a look at the demo of how this company and this cybersecurity works. Then we're going to take a look at the stock. First, let's hear from the CEO of CrowdStrike to wrap our head around the vision of this company and where it is headed. Thank you for your time. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Please enjoy.
Users. So it's a universal topic that's going to get a lot of attention, which makes it a really juicy target for the bad guys.
What are the key things that you help your clients do to prevent against hacks? Are you helping the tech firms, or are you helping individuals like us?
Well, it's mostly focused on large businesses all the way down to small SMBs. We don't really focus on the consumer today, although our technology will work in that environment. But what we've really tried to do is to focus on the outcome, stopping the breach, and leveraging the Falcon platform that we've built, which is equivalent to the Salesforce of security. It's using AI and machine learning to identify and prevent threats that have never been seen before, to prevent these adversary groups, whether it's nation state or e-crime groups, from doing what they do really well, which is getting into these systems and causing havoc.
So what kind of boost, George, have you seen in spending from your clients as a result of work from home and all the threats that come with it?
Well, in March, it was just the fog of war. Everyone was trying to get people up and running and working from home. And I actually talked to a CIO, and I asked him about his digital transformation roadmap, and he said he executed it in one night in March. So I think when we look at work from home, it's really work from anywhere, and it isn't just about working from home, and it's a more long-term sustainable trend that's tied to digital transformation. So you have, a lot of our customers are obviously up and running remotely. Our cloud solution works perfect for that. Instead of a legacy solution, it's off, connects to the cloud, and you're up and running very easy. But we see this as a more sustainable trend, because what we do know is that people are not going to work in the same way that they have in the past. I believe there'll be a hybrid environment. Some people will go in the office, other people won't. You'll have pods of offices. You'll have many people working from home and only going into the office one day a week. I don't think it's everyone back to the office, and I don't think it's everyone not in the office. I do think it's going to be a hybrid model, and that's going to need protection, right? And when you think about the cloud providers, as people transform their legacy IT infrastructure into cloud providers like Amazon and others, they're going to need protection, and we're there protecting those workloads as well.
It's always nice to see an interview with the CEO of a company that I'm researching. It helps me wrap my head around the vision. So let's take a look at this article from the street. CrowdStrike is ripping to an all-time highs on earnings. Can the rally last? Let's turn to the charts for some upside targets. It's a good day for CrowdStrike. Bulls with the cybersecurity specialist, shares up 15% to new highs. The move comes after better than expected earnings and amid somewhat busy earnings week. So this sector, the cybersecurity companies, had a very nice week last week, and I think that it's safe to say that it can grow. This article will continue to highlight that the Sunnyvale, California company shares dipped a bit on Tuesday and Wednesday, falling roughly 3.8% in both sessions. The move came after a pandemic favorite, Zoom Video, beat on earnings but saw a punishing post-earnings decline. I think that Zoom Video got beaten up on because it's just run very, very high. So I think it's time to chill out on Zoom. CrowdStrike is not necessarily an outright play on the coronavirus, but it does benefit from the increasing demand for cybersecurity. So again, the article highlights again, I'm not going to go through the entire article, but I'm going to leave it in the show notes, help yourself to it. So let's take another look at an interview with the CEO, the more recent interview regarding the virus and the vaccine.
Also, you would have a great overview of what's going on. I know you have lots of different verticals. I know you have healthcare as a vertical. I read this morning in the cover of the New York Times about how drug companies are being hacked. They are being threatened, and we're talking about something that could be involving saving millions of people's lives. Yes, we're talking about COVID vaccines. What are you hearing and seeing about the break-in to the inner sanctum of companies that are trying to save our lives?
Well, it's something that we've talked about numerous times over the pandemic. And if there's one topic that has been universal more than I've ever seen, it's COVID. And that's being used from a phishing perspective as a lure to get people to click on these documents, click on this malware, and get infected. And that's one of the reasons why we protect many of the large pharmaceutical companies. And in particular, there's so much IP, so much information that's, goes beyond just healthcare that's on the line here. And that's why it's incumbent on for companies like CrowdStrike to be able to protect these organizations. Bad guys are out there trying to do bad things.
Are you actually, day to day, like today, do you think that there were attempts to break in?
In the time we filmed this, there's break-in attempts. It happens thousands of times a day. It's just all over nation state, e-crime, hacktivism. The threat environment just continues to get worse.
So as threats get worse, this type of company will continue to thrive. I'm not going to go into depth with this article, but Barron's highlights that CrowdStrike stock rallies as profits and revenue blow past guidance. Let's take a look at some of the investors and money managers that help CrowdStrike thrive, especially in this environment.
As CrowdStrike has grown, many of the world's largest organizations have trusted us to secure their endpoints and ultimately to protect them from breaches. At the end of the day, customers are voting with their budgets. We're growing 100% year over year and adding 100 new logos every quarter. These customers hold us to a high standard, and we have a customer retention rate of over 98%. If you select CrowdStrike, you'll be in good company. The company was founded 5 years ago by George and Dimitri, both longtime security executives that were frustrated with traditional endpoint protection being fossilized without the advantages of modern innovations. We raised over $100 million from 3 very different investors. The Google investment really validated the massive innovations that we've created under the hood. Excel recognized the early growth and market adoption. Warburg Pincus sees the focus on fundamental economics and are offering their expertise and scale as the largest PE firm in the world. As a company, we continue to capture great industry recognition from the likes of Gartner, Forbes, and Inc. 500 for both our technology and our market leadership.
Okay, so we're here on Seeking Alpha. Let's take a look at some of the fundamentals regarding this company. And we're going to notice first off the market cap, 37 billion. And its EPS is at 0.22. Its PE forward is 75.7, not 0.93. 52-week range is close to 168, or it's at 168.97. And also, I wanted to highlight its revenue. And January 2020, we see that it's at 481 million. January 21, the estimate is at 859.2 million, and the estimate for January 22, the estimate is at 1.2 billion. So noticing that's a nice trend, an upward trend of revenue estimates moving upward. But again, they're just estimates. But we'll take a look here at the EPS, and here at the forward looking of EPS estimates, definitely going from negative to positive is nice to see. So everybody is different. Again, my risk tolerance, I don't mind when, like if we look over here, the third quarter for this year, the EPS estimate actual was negative 7 cents. And, everyone is different, but certain risk tolerances call for different types of earnings. So the EPS doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I'm very bullish whenever I see an EPS like that. And also the revenue year over year is 85%, moving upward again. And the profitability is looking good. Its gross profit margin is at 73%. And I wanted to also highlight here before we jump into the chart, the market cap, 37 billion. Its total debt is at 42 million. And it has a nice volume of trading, and it's held in ownership of institutions at 64.9%, some individuals and insiders at 9, almost 10%, which is nice to see. I like to see insiders holding a good amount of shares, public and others moving downwards. But again, institutions holding a rather large position of this company. And then we see some of the peers within this. Zscaler, which I'll do a video on probably next. Zoom, Okta, Slack. I've really, in my opinion, just from what I've heard, that Zscaler is the one that's been competing with it as of lately, but not to say anything against these other companies. It's just that Zscaler, as of recently, has been doing good work. And I'll go Zoom right there. The market cap, I think, is just really pandemic driven, but that's just, my opinion. But yeah, definitely I just wanted to showcase some of the fundamentals, but we'll take a look at the chart. And first off, let's take a look at an example of how this cybersecurity works, and we'll take a look right now.
They do not, however, bypass CrowdStrike, and that is exactly what you're going to see in this demo. This is our management console. All of our apps and services are managed here. On the left-hand side, you can see all the apps that you have access to. These apps give you the ability to manage your implementation of Falcon and also give you the visibility necessary to identify, investigate, and remediate threats. In fact, that visibility is a foundational element of our solution. We operate as a DVR for your endpoint, recording all activity so that it can be understood in a security context. This data also provides basic IT hygiene data so that you can understand where you have coverage and where you don't. This includes information on managed and unmanaged systems, as well as insight into application usage and privileged account usage. This raw visibility is incredibly powerful, but where CrowdStrike really shines is in its ability to automatically identify threats in that data set. So let's go to the Activity app to investigate a threat that we recently automatically identified. This is the process tree that shows the complete context, really tells the whole story of the attack. The most obvious part of the attack is this icon indicating that a piece of malware was blocked. You can see that our machine learning identified this file as malicious and prevented it from executing. This little sliver of the attack is what you're used to seeing with a legacy AV solution. CrowdStrike goes far beyond simply showing when it blocks a piece of malware. It provides a complete view of the attack in real time. It also provides forensic details on the right-hand side of the screen to speed investigation and response. This level of detail would take days or weeks to compile with legacy tools, but you can see that we deliver a live view of forensic details right alongside the process tree. To better understand this attack, we simply move up the process tree. In this case, we see that the incident started in Outlook. From Outlook, the user clicked a link and launched Internet Explorer. The website was able to exploit a vulnerability in Internet Explorer in order to instigate a drive-by download. This tells me that I'm dealing with a phishing attack. More importantly, I can see that the attacker was successful and that this attack is ongoing. Now that he has remote control of the system, he begins working towards his goal. The easiest option for the attacker was to drop malware, but that was blocked. So now it's time to use the tools that won't be blocked. In this case, he's using the Windows command prompt, but attackers will use just about anything that's built into the system, like PowerShell, WMI, PSExec, or scripting files like batch files or VBS files. Legacy tools cannot see malicious actions being taken by these utilities because they are trusted tools. CrowdStrike sees all activity on the machine, even activity carried out by trusted applications. This makes it easy to see the malicious activity. In fact, we can see every single operation done by the attacker down to the specific commands he typed in the command line. In this case, we see that he started by using who am I to see if he has admin rights. He does not, so now he has to get some admin credentials. To do this, he invokes a PowerShell script that downloads a credential stealing tool called Mimikatz and injects it into running memory, again to avoid writing anything to disk. He then uses this tool to get the password for the system admin account. He can now continue his attack with completely legitimate credentials, making it impossible for most security tools to distinguish him from a legitimate administrator. It looks like he then took it a step further and also created a second administrative account on the system. This enables him to persist on the system even if someone realizes that the admin account was compromised. We then see the attacker attempting to ping his command and control server. This particular domain is known by CrowdStrike intelligence to be malicious. To learn more about this indicator, we can pivot to the Actors app to see what else CrowdStrike knows about this attacker. A quick search reveals that this C2 server is known by CrowdStrike intelligence to be associated with a Russian adversary known as Fancy Bear. This level of threat intelligence is unique to CrowdStrike and enables you to further explore the incident, understand potential alternative attack vectors, and work towards predicting future attacks.
I thought that demo was not only just cool, it just helps me as an investor understand what it is that this company is doing. It's real easy just to say cybersecurity, right? But let's take a look at my trading view, the 6-month trading window of CrowdStrike. I'm going to highlight here more recently a 3-month, and then I'll zoom out to a 6-month target. But I'm just going to highlight some levels of support from the $120 range. It's had a good run. It had a nice pullback, and then to where we're currently at in the high 160s. So these levels of support are indicating to me that they're trading at future levels of resistance and past levels of resistance as well. So whenever I see past levels of support become future levels of resistance that I'm noticing just like a bearish trend or a bear flag, then I can see it rebounding and then making another run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make for myself a solid level of support. And I think that this level is, I wouldn't say ridiculous, but anything around the $140 to $150 range is a solid level of support. I believe that the price won't go dip below it. If it does, I would have to take a look and understand why the price action, maybe there's a lot of selling off or something that obviously anything can happen, right? The stock can go any which way. But for me, I'm making that solid level of support. If it dips anything below where it's currently trading at to that level, I will feel very confident for buying opportunities and continue to see some growth. I see this company as a very valuable company, especially in the future. I won't get into politics and different types of administrations and what they do with their defense bills, but as an investor, I can totally see this type of company growing. And since it's had its pullbacks already, I don't see it dipping past that $140 to $150 mark. So I'm highlighting here that 123 level there, that where it dipped off and then it just took off. And its latest earnings report, it just shot up. And I think that it will continue to grow. So I think it's safe to say that this company offers a lot of value, a lot of security, a lot of peace of mind to their clients. And I think it's, as us, as individuals that use some of their clients, it should put our mind at ease as well. So I'm going to leave it here. I want to thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. If there's another company that you would like to see me research, or if there's an IPO or an ETF that you'd like to see me dive into, please drop it in the comment section below. It's a big week. Airbnb is going to IPO this week, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you for your time. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. And until the next video, I will see y'all soon. Okay, take care.